Hello, and welcome to another Win Daily Sports Show. My name is Michael Brazil, and I am graced by the presence of our one and only founder, Jason Mizrahi. We are here talking NFL betting lines against the spread, the totals. We have it all. Sia is usually here with me, but unfortunately, Sia can't today. So then Nick's usually here with me, and Nick, he's doing some stuff. He won so much goddamn money, he doesn't even need to be here anymore. So you know what? I get the one and only Jason Mizrahi. Jason, how you doing today, buddy?
I love to be the backup to the backup, man.
Back up to the
I'm the third
backup.
stringer
Not
now. I'm the
bad,
third string
man.
quarterback
Come on.
playing
What?
for
Think of it
what
college
team am
football
I on?
terms.
Am I on
You're
the
Alabama. You're Alabama. You're third string Alabama. You're like Bear Bryant's grandson or some shit. It could be way worse, man. Take it for what it is. Enjoy it. You get all the girls. You're the quarterback of Alabama. Just you don't have to tell them you're third string. That's all.
There we go, man. Let's do this.
Not too bad. So Jason and I will be talking about the Week 11 NFL against the spread lines. We're going to be going over game by game, giving you some knowledge, dropping a little information for you. If Jason really likes a stack here and there, maybe he could sprinkle into that DFS, little fantasy football for you. That's always fun. But more importantly, make sure to follow us at Win Daily Sports. Make sure to go to windailysports.com/chat. You get 7 free days in that expert Discord chat. And also don't forget sports betting membership. We got it. We're winning money. That's what it's here for. We got our house capper Steve. He's been doing his thing and we appreciate the hell out of him. And we make sure that you're always winning here at Win Daily with us. Change your game. Change your life. So Jason, let's get into this. We'll start with Thursday night because, it's only a day away. We have the Cardinals. We have the Seahawks. Line opened at 5.5 for the Seahawks at home. It's now down to 3.5. It's 50-50 split on the bets. A couple more dollars coming in on the Cardinals. We saw this game once before. It was absolutely wicked. It was wild. Seahawks were up by like 10 points in the fourth quarter, only a couple minutes left. Somehow end up losing that game. That defense is literally one of the worst defenses of all time, which is absolutely fantastic. Talk to me a little bit. How you leaning? Seahawks minus 3.5.
This game helped me win a bunch of money last time because it's a game that I stacked up in DFS, and this game was a shootout. It was probably one of the most exciting games of the season so far. The Seahawks are really missing Chris Carson. Ever since he went out, they have not the same team. Their offense hasn't been as explosive. And the Cardinals have been playing really good ball, man. Kyler Murray has done it with Hopkins, without Hopkins, with Kenny Drake, without Kenny Drake. The team fights. They're a great team. This is a must-win for Seattle, though. So, Seattle has to win this game after dropping a couple of them. Russell Wilson was the front runner for MVP. This might decide the MVP right here, because if he keeps on losing games, he's probably not the leader in the house anymore. It's got to be Patrick Mahomes here. That's what I put my money on. But this game's tight, man. My heart wants me to go with the Cardinals. My brain is telling me the Seahawks at home. If they really had the home crowd behind them, this would be an easy decision for me. But the Cardinals are playing hot, so it's a toss-up. Definitely a game that I want to watch. I think the over is the bet that everybody wants to make because they just want to get all that action.
57.5.
It's a lot, but a lot of games been going like 34 to 40. This game shot up over 60 last time. I remember that. Mm-hmm. So I think you still go the over. I think you can go with the Cardinals here as the dogs. But what do you got going?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning Cardinals 3.5. It's the hook that gets me. I think this is kind of a 3-point game. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I totally agree. This is a Thursday night game that I'm excited to see. I want the over. I mean, who the hell doesn't love rooting for points? But 57.5 is so many points. And actually, we have most of the money coming in on the under, over 60%. It's maybe not most, but significant portion of the money is coming in on the under with less bets. So that just means there's bigger pieces of that pie coming in on the under for those bets. So I don't want to take the under. Thursday night games are weird. So we'll see what happens. But I will probably lean Cardinals at 3.5. And I'll probably just root for all the points. I think it's more fun that way anyway.
Yeah, you got to check the weather. It looks like there's potential. It's Seattle. It always rains out there. It looks like there's some potential for some rain out there. So if it does rain, that might slow down both these offenses. And I think Seattle has to try to control Kyler Murray and control the clock, and maybe even without Chris Carson, they're getting, Carlos Hyde back most likely. Alex Collins looked all right last week, so I think they're going to try to run the ball. So, the under of the rain is going to go ahead and, be a real threat to both offenses. You might want to lock in that under right now before the weather reports become worse than they are right now.
Yes, I like that. And then there was one prop that I saw earlier today. Can't remember the book that it was on, but Kyler Murray over under 285 5, I want to say, passing yards, the Seahawks could potentially be down their top 2 cornerbacks, which means DeAndre Hopkins all day, Christian Kirk all day, and then Kyler Murray is going to be running the ball as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up 400 total yards of offense by him.
400. Whoa,
Hey, man,
whoa,
300,
whoa,
300 over
whoa,
the
whoa.
air, 100 on the ground. I mean,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, total yards.
Total,
Yeah,
total,
yeah,
total,
okay.
total. Yeah. I mean, honestly, 400 passing wouldn't be that crazy if we're thinking about it. I mean, if Josh Allen can do it, why the hell can't Kyler Murray, right? But we will see what happens. All right, let's move on to the Sunday main slate of games. A lot more 1 o'clocks this week. Last week was wicked and weird because we had the Masters, but it was a lot of fun. That late night, kind of going into the late evening. Now it's getting dark here on the East Coast very early. But this first one, battle of playoff teams left from last year from the AFC. We have the Titans. We have the Ravens. This game's in Baltimore. Ravens favored by 6.5, depending on the book you're looking at. We have 65% of the bets coming in on the Titans, 60% of the money coming in on the Titans. And we have an over-under of 49 with 90% of the money coming in on the over. We just saw what Damian Harris was able to do to this Baltimore defense, knowing they were just going to run the ball the whole time, and he was still able to put up 120 yards on the ground. Your boy Derrick Henry, you've been loving him all year. I mean, is this just another smash spot? Did the Titans just do what they did in the playoffs, or is the Ravens capable of actually winning a game?
Ravens look bad, man.
They look bad.
Offense looks really bad, and it tells you who's got the clout right now. It's Brady, it's Mahomes, it's not Lamar, man. He doesn't have enough weapons still. Like his run game that was so prolific last year is what Kyler Murray's doing. He's not doing it anymore, and if he's not going to be really a threat to run the ball, who does he really have? He has Mark Andrews, he has Hollywood Brown, who's not that great, man. It's not a 1-2 punch that's really going to break down defenses. If he's not running the ball, takes a lot away from their allure as an offense, as a team. Their defense was playing well, but not great. And if you can't stop the Patriots, not saying that Tannehill and Henry are so much better than the Patriots right now, but they're definitely better. They have more weapons with AJ Brown and stuff like that. So look, 6.5 is a lot of points. So I'm going to lean with the Titans here. And the over-under at 49, look, I'm not sure about over because the Ravens are not trying to put up, 30-point games. So they're going to try to slow down the clock. And if the Titans get the lead, because the Titans offense, they've sputtered a little bit as of late too. Their defense is terrible, though, so that's why the over-under is where it's at. But if Derrick Henry can control the clock, I do like the under here as well. There's a lot of smart money behind it, so I can see where they're going with this bet.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think Titans plus 6.5. I think that's a pretty, and I don't want to say it's a pretty easy bet because that's when we do the things that we do. And of course, lock of the century, right? No, I definitely think Titans plus 6.5. I actually do think the over. I don't think the Ravens defense is getting healthier, but still not nearly as good as we all kind of presumed and assumed it was going to be. And then the Titans defense is just pretty much bad, just straight up bad. One thing I will say is I agree with you. Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown aren't the most prolific 1-2 punch, but if Lamar Jackson could hit a ball down the field, it would be a much more prolific 1-2 punch. I mean, Hollywood Brown burns people, it feels like, every other play. Jackson just can't hit him with a deep pass at all to save his life this year. Last year, he could at least hit 1 out of every 3. This year, it feels like I don't even remember him hitting 1 this year. It's been absolutely crazy. So hopefully they can figure that out. I do think Titans plus 6.5. Honestly, might sprinkle a little money line down the Titans on that. Just a sprinkle. Just
they burned me last week. I'm still remembering the Titans
Ravens
game. Yeah,
I had the Ravens in a 5-team parlay last week. Just the money line. They burned me, so I want to get them back. I want to get them back.
Screwed us last week. I thought the Titans versus Colts. I thought that was a lock, man. But that line moved. I never seen a line move so quickly and with no injuries. It's like nothing changed. It opened 2 points one way, ended up 2 points the other way. It's a big line move for a game that I thought was too fishy, but I took the bait, and it came down to the kicking game, man. It came down to the kicking game, and one bad kick led to one block kick, led to a missed field goal, and then the game was over, and there was no chance. Even though they were dominating the entire first half and it looked clean, it just went south real quick. So I don't know. The Titans aren't, Ryan Tannehill is not the best quarterback back there. He's more of a game manager. If Derrick Henry's not running the ball well, it's going to be a tough game. But 6.5, the way the Ravens offense look, I think it's the right play.
I completely agree. And don't forget, you can find and listen to the Win Daily Sports Show on Sirius XM. Jason and Sia both my partners in crime. They do a show by themselves, which is kind of nice. Thanks for the invite, guys. On Saturday nights, 11 o'clock on Sirius
Messed up,
XM
man.
Fantasy
Messed up.
Sports Radio. Don't worry, I get my shine. Monday mornings, Jason and I do a nice little show to talk about the Monday showdown, throwdown, whatever that Monday night game is. We'll get there. Do not worry. Here to talk a little bit of betting, but Sia and Jason go over a lot of this stuff one more time for you. So definitely make sure to check us out there as well. Yeah, I'm on Titans plus 6.5. I'm on the over just because I'm rooting for the points. 55% of the bets on the over, 90% of the money. So a lot of whales in on that one. So that one is fun. You're talking about line movement. We're going to get to a game in a little bit where you'll see pretty much almost a touchdown line movement so far, which you do not see. This isn't college. This is the NFL. So let's move on. We have the Matt Patricia Lions. I mean, I think the bet here should be, does Matt Patricia keep his job? I don't know. We'll see. But the Lions open at 1-point dogs on the road to the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey has been ruled out already. He might potentially, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play the rest of the season. We'll see what happens. Panthers -1.5 to -2, depending on the book that you're looking at. Couple more bets on the Panthers, couple more dollars coming in. Over under went from 49 down to 45.5. So that is moving in the wrong direction for us. Talk to me a little bit. How do you feel about this Panthers team as 1.5 to 2-point favorites at home against the Matt Patricia Lions with Matthew Stafford? Like something happened to him today, some kind of injury. So pay attention for that as well.
Yeah, I think he tore a ligament in his throwing hand, in his thumb, and I actually did that. Not too fun. I actually had to have surgery on it. So I don't know. It seems like he's going to play. Teddy Bridgewater on the other opposite side is not going to play, which is kind of surprising to me that Carolina's favored in this game. I know Detroit's been bad. DeAndre Swift's looked good. Kenny Galladay should be back this game. Detroit's in every single game. They're kind of like the Philadelphia Phillies, just losing late games due to their bullpen or due to coaching or do whatever Detroit does at the end of games to lose games. So they've been in every game tight. You know, it's almost I want to play the first half on the Lions because it looks like Bridgewater's not playing. PJ Walker is going to be quarterback. McCaffrey's out. They still have weapons, but you have a backup quarterback. As long as Stafford plays, I kind of want to root for the Lions, at least in the first half. I think that's the best bet in the game, but it's going to be a tight one, man, because if Stafford is hurt, it's going to be tough sledding for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, if the Lions lose this game to a backup quarterback to Christian McCaffrey-led Panthers, Matt Patricia has to be fired. Like, this dude is bad. He is bad at coaching. I think it is very clear. Stick still loves him for some reason. I get on him every time. I don't know what it is. I think maybe is it the pencil? Is that what it is? I don't know. It's something, man, but Stick still loves him. Yeah, I think PJ Walker, AAF legend. I will not put money on this game because we don't know the hell we're gonna get with it. I'm gonna lean Lions if you can get it at 2. If the number keeps going up for some reason, maybe grab it a little bit higher. But I'm gonna stay away from this one. I don't think it's too fun. So from that perspective, any DFS side that you like? I mean, we can run against the Panthers, so maybe a little DeAndre Swift. But I feel like when we're supposed to run with DeAndre Swift, he gets like 4 carries and like 6 targets, and that's it. Like, dude, never actually gets real run.
Last week was the first week that like 15 minutes before game time, before the lineups locked, they said it. They stated that DeAndre Swift is getting his first start, and it looked like I don't really trust coach talk or reporter talk, so I'm like, all right, I have him in a couple lineups, I'll see what happens, and he goes out there and has a massive game. So it looks like he's here to stay. So I like that call. And Mike Davis. You know, everybody was on him last week. The matchup wasn't great last week, but everybody just stuffed him in because he was so cheap. And I'm hoping people are off him this week because everybody got burned by him last week. And this is the matchup you want to attack. You know, Gibson just tore up the Lions. Everybody's tearing up the Lions. So game script says that the Panthers are going to be winning this game. It's going to be a tight game. Mike Davis is probably going to be an outlet for PJ Walker. So where the price is right, I will play him. Where he's a little bit too expensive and there's some other value around, I'll probably fade him.
I like that. I like that a lot. And that's why you come to the Win Daily Sports Betting Line Show. You get a little betting, get a little fantasy advice too. Nothing wrong with that. That's why we have Jason on here with us tonight. Let's move on. We have the Steelers traveling down to Jacksonville. The Steelers are 10 to 10.5 point favorites, depending on the book you're looking at. About 60% of the bets, over 70% of the money is coming in on the Steelers. Jags aren't good. Jake Luton isn't good, but they're in all these games. They've covered the 2 times that he has been the quarterback. Last week they covered pretty easily, ended up almost beating the Packers, which was pretty wacky, pretty weird. 10.5 points is a lot, especially in the NFL. I mean, Steelers should do it, but are you going to put your money on the Steelers at 10.5 when I'm not going to say they're frauds because they're 9-0. You're all where your record said you is, but they're a ugly 9-0. They're
They're not
ugly
ugly,
9-0.
man. Give them
It's a
credit, man.
little
Big
ugly.
Ben, comeback
They
player of
got
the
credit,
year.
dude.
Their point differential is 100. So they've scored 271 points and they only let up 171, like to the dot 100. Their winning percentage is obviously 1,000. So they're a great team, man. Nobody's giving them credit. Their defense is really good. Just because they had that one stinker against Dallas where they played down to their competition.
Should have lost against Dallas. Steven Gostkowski missed a game-winning field goal. Should have lost
Give
against
them
the
credit, man. This
Ravens.
team is
They
legit.
have the wins. I think they're great, believe me. But
Legit, good
10
team,
points is a
good
lot.
quarterback, 3 stud wide receivers, a good tight end, a good running back, and a great defense and a great coach, great organization. They're going to win this game easy. This game, I like it for the first half, end game line. I think the Steelers roll in this game. Jacksonville, they hung in the game last week just because the weather was so bad. That game played slow. They had a freak touchdown. I think they had a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Punt return, yeah.
Yeah, punt return for a touchdown. That's not going to happen every day. It's not going to happen to the Steelers. You know, their point differential is 72 in the negative side of things. I'm not saying it's going to just be a blowout, but it should be a blowout. This is the best team or one of the best teams in the league going against one of the worst teams in the league. They've been, they've hung in the last 2 games. Don't get me wrong. They've done it, but I don't think they do it against the Steelers. It's not going to happen. They lost by 4-2 in the last 2 games, but Packers been a little bit, questionable. Texans been a little bit questionable as of late, but if you go back before that, they lost to the Chargers. They lost to your Lions by 18. They lost to the Texans by 16. They lost to every other team by like at least 8 to 20 points. So it's not like they're a good team. Somehow they beat the Colts week 1 with Minshew and knocked me out of my survivor pool real quick. But yeah, I think they get blown out here. 1 o'clock game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. 10 points is a lot. I'm not going to bet it because I love the Jags. Just for my cousin.
You love the Jags?
It's my cousin's favorite. It's my cousin's favorite team. I gotta love them with him. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. 10's a lot. I probably will roll with the Steelers there, but I can't. That's too many. That's too many points. That's too many points. This is where Sia would come in and say, "I don't play teasers and I don't do parlays, but if I were," and then he'd give us some ridiculous teaser and some ridiculous parlay. He does it every week. If you're out there listening, Sia, please send in your teaser and your parlay. Let us move on. So as you were talking about before, line movements and getting crazy, the Texans, the Patriots in Houston. Texans opened -3. Texans are now +2.5. That is a lot of points. 5.5 point live movement. You do not see that very often. All the money is coming in on the Patriots. 2/3 of the bets are coming in on the Patriots. I mean, if you got it at +3, you loved it. Now, even at -1, 2, 2.5, you probably still like it. Talk to me a little bit. How you feeling about the Belichick versus the Romeo Crennel? It's still a former head coach. It's still like a coaching tree, right? I guess technically somewhere in there.
Maybe something like that. Look, the Patriots have been like Jekyll and Hyde. Every week they're like, oh my God, Cam Newton's so explosive. He's so good. And they figure out ways to win and their defense is playing better. And then they get beat up by teams. And then you're like, Cam Newton's terrible. Why is Cam even in the league no more? This is why nobody signed him. So they're back and forth. Nobody can get this team right. Belichick is reborn now after the win, and everybody's back on the New England, bandwagon here. But it's going to be a tight game. Deshaun Watson still has something to prove. He's a better quarterback than Cam. He just doesn't have the coaching staff and the team around him. I'm not going to bet on the Texans, and I don't really want to bet on the Patriots either here. I think it's a very close game. I don't really get the line movement. I don't see anybody hurt. Maybe just simply because the Patriots look good in their last game, in a rain game. That's why they beat the Ravens. So now they're a great team all of a sudden. I think it was a weird game. That rain really changed things, changed momentum. Couple plays here, couple plays there. Didn't go the Ravens' way, and the Patriots win. Patriots are 1-3 away. Doesn't mean much because the Texans can't win at home either. I think the Patriots are a better coach team, more complete team, so they should win this game. So if you force my hand, I would bet the Patriots here, but it's probably a stay away spot for me.
Yeah, it's too weird. I don't want to bet a game that has had that much line movement because that means someone knows way more than I do. And I don't like to think that I'm this savant or anything at this. But when you see something like that, it's just like, hey, let's let's let everyone else put their money on that game. Let's find it somewhere else. If anything, I would take the under in this game. It's at 49. A lot of the money and a lot of the
Texans
bets are
D though
coming.
is terrible though.
Yeah, but
That's the only problem. If I'm gonna take anything in this game, give me I think the safest play. Don't even mess with the points. Just take if you like the Patriots, take the Patriots money line at -136 on DraftKings. That's the safest play in this game, I think.
it's too much for me. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to play super slow and the Texans are going to play super stupid. So I don't really think there's going to be that many points in this game, honestly. I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, but that's half the fun of this. So this is just another weird one. I'm not super interested in it. I don't really even think there's too much DFS involved in this one either. So I think it's kind of one of those. Yeah, it's just kind of.
You want to play running back roulette with the Patriots and hope that Damian Harris goes off or Burkhead goes off. It's one of those two guys. They're heavily involved in the offense. Cam can run one in though too to vulture them. So it's a lot of the Texans are a team you want to attack. So I can see people like Cam in DFS is super cheap this week. He's kind of mispriced. So there's going to be people on Cam Newton, but in the beginning of the year, he was running a lot of touchdowns in. Lately, he's been actually handing the ball off and letting other people score and be more involved in the offense. So it's a game where Cam is too cheap on DraftKings at 6.2. Like he's $1,000. He's almost the same price as Stafford, $6,000. You know, Lamar Jackson is $1,000 more. He's the same price as Ryan Tannehill. So he's in a price point where people will just play him due to price. Who do you want though? Here's a question I'll hit you with early. Jameis Winston at 5.9 on DraftKings or Cam Newton at 6.2 versus, you know, they both have good matchups.
Probably Cam.
Yeah, it's gonna be a toss-up. Everybody wants to play Jameis because they feel like he did great last year as far as output goes, but I think Cam is probably the safer play.
I'm going to regurgitate some information that I read online. The Saints offense, it was not built for Jameis Winston. It's built for precision passing. And that, as I think we know, is not what Jameis Winston, that is not a skill set that he currently has in his tool belt. So just kind of, I don't know who said that on Twitter. Appreciate you for giving me that information, but I like it. It sounds good. Now
I think the Saints offense are built for dump offs to Alvin Kamara and let him do everything else.
That's true,
anytime they do really well, it just give the ball to Kamara. He opens up everything. He cuts everybody up. And then when in doubt, throw the ball to Micah Thomas for 8 yards, like 10, 15 times a game. Just that combination is going to be open almost every time.
I love it. I will say, though, the Texans defense is still very, very, very bad. The Falcons defense, has actually only, I think it was only like 22 points a game since Raheem Morris has taken over, which is weird because he was the defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, I don't know what he was doing prior.
Inspired. They're playing
I don't know. This is the Atlanta Falcons of the last couple of years. Start out absolutely terrible, win enough games to get a terrible or like a very kind of like not so great draft pick, and then just do it again next year. So we've seen this story play out. Confident that the Falcons are going to end up, I don't know, 7-9. Sounds like the perfect end to the perfect story. All right, let's move on. We have the Eagles. We have Eagles traveling to Cleveland. The line currently is Cleveland -3, -3.5, depending on the book that you are looking at. You can get it at -3.5 or +3.5 on BetMGM. If you want, you can grab it on DraftKings at 3, depending on which side of this you would like. I think this is the most perfect spot for the NFC East to continue NFC Easting. I think last week, Cia and I did this show. He said, no, the Eagles will win. I agree with him, but I even said, I think this is the perfect time for the NFC East to like just be so NFC East, to have the Giants win and to have them tied at 3 wins. Now I think everyone's going to look at the Eagles and be like, you stupid idiots. You couldn't even beat the Giants. This is ridiculous. They're going to turn around. They're going to beat the Browns. Like, I don't even think it's a question. I think they're going to go in here into Cleveland. I think they're going to beat the Browns. They're going to beat the Browns. And I think it's going to be hysterical. And it's going to be some dumb shit that the reason why, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just feeling that the Eagles are going to make this more complicated than necessary. They're going to go in. They're going to beat the Browns in Cleveland.
No, listen, man. Like, I hate Baker Mayfield. I think the Browns are just doomed. I think Baker Mayfield's really bad. Really, really, really bad. But I think Nick Chubb is really good. And I think Carson Wentz makes too many mistakes, man. The guy is like, now he even has all his weapons back. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott is still doing what he needs to do. He's got Fulgham, looks like a wide receiver 1. He's got Rieger back. He's got Jeffrey back. Goddard's back. they have weapons, and he still can't. If he can't beat the Giants, he's not going to beat Nick Chubb and the Browns. I don't even think it's
Divisional
Baker
game.
Mayfield show. It's going to run the ball all day
Divisional
long.
game. It's weird.
No,
Divisional games
I
are
thought the
weird,
Giants going to
man.
win that game, and I said it live on radio. I said the Giants going to win this game. This
Sirius
Eagle team
XM,
is not
Fantasy
good.
Sports Radio, 11 to 1 a.m. Keep
Yeah,
going.
actually, you know where I said it first? I said it on Philly radio,
Oh,
Fox Sports,
awesome.
and they weren't too happy about that. Big shout out to John Jansen if he's listening right now. But yeah, I think they're gonna lose this game again, man. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, just gonna be dump offs to them. Maybe some Jarvis Landry. The Eagles' defense is bad. Their offense is bad. They're making mistakes. I don't like the Browns at all. If it was any other team, I think they'd win by 10 here. The Eagles are pretty much they're donezo, man. They're just falling apart. Coaching staff everywhere you look, just making mistakes. So give me the Browns, and I'll take this bet with you all day long, man. I think the Browns win this game.
I'll
The
take
Giants are making the playoffs, man. Look at that.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna take I will take that bet. We'll have to figure out what is this gonna be for? What are we gonna do?
I'll come up with something creative before the end of the show.
Because
We'll figure something out.
if I get the money line, I want a little bit more in favor of me. If not, I'll just take the 3.5 points and say, that's fine with me. You have the Browns at 3.5.
I want three. I'm not giving you
three.
the
That's
half.
fine. That's fine.
Three. You get the Eagles plus 3.
So we'll push in that case. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I
like the over too. I think 47. I think this Eagles defense. There's no way they're not going to keep any team under.
Let's wait on the over-under, because as we've seen the last 3 weeks in Cleveland, it's been practically tornado force winds in that stadium. So I will just preface, wait to see what the weather is, because somebody decided to build a football stadium literally inside of a lake. So, surprise, it's windy there every once in a while.
It's Cleveland, yep. Doing everything wrong in Cleveland.
It's a fun place, though. I love it. Muni Lot. Go party at the Muni Lot. Next time
we're allowed. To Cleveland?
Yeah,
you and Joe Noah? You guys love Cleveland, huh?
I have a friend who lives there. My good buddy Derek, his wife Christina, and their dog Percy. Fantastic place to party. It is an absolute blast. I promise you that. Go to the Muni Lot before a Browns game. You might not have more fun tailgating at any football game. It's an absolute blast. Let's move on. We have an NFC South battle. We have the Falcons. We have the Saints. Saints favored by 4.5. That line has moved up to 5 or down to 5, depending on how you like to do numbers. Over under started at 51.5. That's actually come down to 49.5. I can do that math there. This is really interesting to me. Starts at 4.5. We then get the news Tuesday, that Drew Brees has multiple broken ribs, a punctured lung, and will 100% be out. And then the Saints are favored by more now. Usually you don't see that. Either Vegas says, we really don't care about Drew Brees. We think he kind of sucks. And as you said, just give the ball to Alvin Kamara anyway. Or they're trying to bait us into something, which I'm always interested in. The more money is coming in, pretty significant more money is coming in on the Falcons, and to have them get more points, usually, again, this tells a story. That's why we like to see where the money's going and where it moves. So that's very interesting to me. How do you feel about the Falcons and this Saints game?
The Falcons have been in almost every single game this year, except for the Packers game. They lost by 1, which they should have won that first game versus the Cowboys. They should have won the second game versus the Bears. They probably should have won a game against the Panthers. They lost by 7 there. And then they won 3 of their last 4. So this team can really be like a 6-2, 6-3 type of team right now, but they're 3-6 instead. Their point differential, I think, is under 10 points. So they've been in every single game. They could potentially win this game outright. I think 6 is way too much. Matt Ryan gets no credit. He's always got blame for everything that ever goes wrong in Atlanta. Him and the coaching staff get all a bad rap. So I really like the Falcons here. I think it's way too many points. Look, Jameis Winston hasn't played in a bit. He's going to go in there. There's going to be some pressure on him. I know he's up for it. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback by any means. I'm not really on the Drew Brees bandwagon that he's this stud of a quarterback still. I know he looked good against Tampa, which was kind of a shocking game for me, but I think they could be better with him if he was playing every week. But first week in, some jitters. He throws a pick early. Atlanta's been playing better defense, and that offense is really good. The only thing that's going to be tough for me at this point is the Saints defense has been playing a lot better too. But I think this game stays close enough that the Falcons cover pretty easily here. And there's a shot if you want to throw them into a parlay with a couple favorites and play the money line to kind of boost your odds here. I don't hate the Falcons straight up as well.
I actually just started writing down a couple teams. Sia and I last week, we decided to start taking 3-team parlay money line for the underdogs. Just to, again, sprinkle a couple bucks on that, see what it's like. Last week we lost all 3 of those bets, and
Good
I think
job.
only even one of them covered. So that's always fun. But we do it for fun, man. We do it for fun. And I wrote down the Titans and I wrote down the Falcons so far. We're going to see if we can get one more because I totally agree with you. I think 5 is definitely too many points. Again, it's divisional game. Yeah, we've seen some of these turn into blowouts, but we've also seen some of these be much closer than expected and sometimes go the wrong way. So I do think that the Falcons, especially what they've been doing recently, again, that defense has been solid. The Saints offense definitely hasn't been in a spot to take advantage of the biggest weakness on the Falcons either, which is their secondary. I mean, Drew Brees hasn't, again, Alvin Kamara is like one of the best receivers in the league, just pretty much getting dump offs in the backfield. So I don't think they have the ability or capability to take advantage. Now, maybe this is where we're like, oh, wait, Jameis Winston, he was pretty good last year and he just throws the ball around the yard. But I don't see Sean Payton doing that. If anything, I think Taysom Hill will have more touchdowns than Jameis Winston. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, on our friends over at William Hill, you can get plus 900 Jameis Winston to throw a pick 6. That's a $10 bet.
I thought you were gonna give a hot take that you should play Taysom Hill as your tight end this week in DFS because
No, that's your job, dude.
That's my job. All right. Yeah, I already got a couple of text messages of lineups from a couple of guys at Win Daily that just had Taysom Hill as their tight end. Like, all right, we're ready to go this week. So
love it.
I don't know. It's a pretty interesting spot for him. He's definitely was involved before. So it's going to be weird to see a combination of Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston on the same team, like in the backfield. Just going to be weird to look at. Like 2 guys that can't find jobs as quarterbacks are now playing together in the backfield. So we'll see what happens, but I like the Falcons, man.
One man's trash. One man's trash. All right, let's move on. Last 1:00 game. We have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Washington, D.C. to take on the Football Club. Football Club is favored by 1.5 points. We have the Bengals getting about 60% of the bets, but the money is split just about even. Talk to me a little bit. Do the Bengals get another win? Because I feel like this is one of the spots where they should probably, 1.5 points is practically a pick 'em at that point. Do you think the Bengals can pull this one out?
They got an offense. Their defense is atrocious. This is a game where you probably want to load up on Antonio Gibson. If they just let off the handcuffs, he should be doing his thing. The Bengals have been in shootouts. The Washington football team has been playing, tight games, low-scoring games. They're the complete opposites right now. So it's a battle of wills to who wins this game. I usually go offense, and I want to go with the Bengals here because they're the more fun team at this point. But I think Alex Smith gets his win here. They run the ball with Antonio Gibson. They control the clock. And the defense puts a little pressure on Burrow. And, you're going to have a pick. You're going to have, maybe a fumble, a couple sacks, stuff like that. So I would have to go with the boring defense and Alex Smith over, the good offense with 3, kind of studly wide receivers. Higgins is doing his thing. Boyd's doing his thing. You throw an A.J. Green in there. They've been moving the ball. It looks like no Joe Mixon. So a little bit of Gio Bernard. I think Gio's going to have a tough time against this Washington front 4. So I'm leaning on the football team here over the Bengals.
Our good friend Brian at Two Lock Sports was talking about a birthday narrative, if I'm not mistaken, for Giovanni Bernard. So maybe that's something to pay attention to, guys.
This guy's been
narratives are fun.
On fire with his gifts, and he's been on fire with his narratives. It started with Nyheim Hines, and then this dude, 2 minutes before the game, I yelled at him the other day. I'm like, you couldn't come up with this narrative an hour before so I can get him into my lineups? And then he posted a screenshot at the end of the day, winning a bunch of money with Adam Thielen, who rocked Alex Trebek's face and name all over his cleats and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, he goes out there, scores the first touchdown. I think he scored the last touchdown in the game to throw a stake in me because I had no Adam Thielen in my main lineup in the showdown slate. So whenever, Tulak goes out and posts a narrative, it's been hitting as of late. So if he is ahead of the game, I'm definitely going to have to get some Gio Bernard. But it's a bad matchup, man, against Washington. Washington strain is their front 4. But he can be involved in the passing game, and, he can get past that front 4 by just catching these dump offs and breaking through. So not a bad play, but this Washington defense is pretty good.
This Washington defense is pretty good. The offensive line for the Bengals is pretty bad. I'm just hoping Joe Burrow comes out of this game alive. 1.5, it's kind of difficult at this point. I will probably lean to the Football Club. They did do the weird thing of, hey, let's have Alex Smith throw the ball 50 times last
Throw
week.
for
And so
400 yards
he had
after
like,
after
yeah,
Tia
almost
shitted on him, calling him like not ready to be back in the NFL. The
yep,
guy throws for 400.
400 yards. So that's mostly Terry McLaurin. I'm pretty confident though. So that's where I would probably lean in this one. But it's weird, man. Hopefully, yeah, they can get back to, hey, let's run the ball. Hey, let's, dump the ball off to Gibson and McKissick and let the defense, let that front four, let that front seven really do their thing. Because I mean, Montrez Sweat. You have what's his face, Chase Young on the other side. I mean, you have the Kerrigan. Like this team is loaded. Is Kerrigan hurt? Actually, Kerrigan might be hurt. I think I might be wrong on that one. But that front four is absolutely loaded. The front seven is fantastic. Let them do their thing, right? Like, I don't think you have to like. This isn't rocket science. This isn't brain surgery. So I will lean with Sia and his football club on this sunny Sunday.
What's crazy about this game is like they're really fighting for playoffs at 2-7 right now. Just
Isn't it
shocking. Like,
awesome?
how's that? Like,
I
I wish
love it.
my fantasy team can squeak into the playoffs at 2-7. Not that I'm 2-7, but like I would like that. We're in this win daily league, and Jim Thompson set it up that only 4 teams in a 12-man league make the playoffs. So like I'm fighting tooth and nail between Ghost and a couple other people, but 2-7 make the playoffs. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, shout out to my main league. I think 5 teams right now are 3-7, while I sit real pretty at 9-1. So
9-1. Look at you, big guy.
the win. I lost the first game 9-0 since, so it's not
There
bad.
you go.
I even won with Patrick Mahomes on the bench last week, which was sweet. So you can
So did
suck
I.
it, Derek. You can suck it, Derek. All right, let's move on. Onto the 4:00 games. We have the Dolphins traveling to Mile High to take on the Broncos. Line opened at 3.5.
Give me all the Dolphins. We don't have to talk about this. Give me all the Dolphins.
Wait. Line opened at 3.5, still at 3.5. 90% of the money coming in on the Dolphins, and the line hasn't moved. Last week, no, not you, Zach. Stop it. Get out of here, Zach. Miss you though, buddy. Miss you. Last week, they had us. They hooked us. C and I were like, no, there's no way. This much money coming in on the Dolphins, only 2.5-point favorites to the Chargers. They should be 10-point favorites. Of course, that means the Chargers will end up taking this game. No, that didn't happen. Again, this week should be much, much higher than 3.5-point favorites. The Broncos haven't looked good outside of like almost coming back against Atlanta, I think.
Their defense is bad, man. Really bad.
It's bad. It's bad. But what the hell? 3.5. That's not enough. What am I missing? They should be again like 10-point favorites. The defense is good. The offense is solid, if not very above average. Like, why is it only 3.5? That's the part that scares me.
The only thing I can say is, you know what? The Dolphins are finding ways to score. Every week I feel like they're scoring either 1 or 2 touchdowns defensively or special teams.
Exactly.
It's not really coming from their offense that much.
That's not how NFL works. You can't bank on that every week. Come on.
Yeah, and then they're going, across the country from Miami to Mile High. Tua's going on the road. He's still a rookie, but the Dolphins are still the team to beat, man. They're going to make the playoffs. I'm going with the Dolphins, man. Look, you're not going to sell me off.
I just watched you go through the process and understand, like, oh, wait, see? You're going through the process. You told me you didn't want to talk about it. We talk about it. I'm totally on the Broncos now. Give me Broncos 3.5. I think they suck. But on Tua on the road in Mile High, 3.5. I think the Dolphins end up winning in some capacity. They'll have a dumb like punt return, kick return, pickoff return. But I think the Broncos cover for all the reasons that you just said.
Nah, I'll stay with the Dolphins. Better team. Broncos don't really, they're not really. Their defense is good, man. Miami just finds ways to dominate games. Not even like winning easy, like tight games. They're winning. They're just going up like 20 in the first half. So I think they're good, man. I really think they're good. Winning 5 games in a row. Made the switch. Everybody kind of shit on them for making that switch. I was one of them. Like, why would you do that? Fitzpatrick, go for it. And then Tua's done enough, man. I don't think he's as good as Fitzpatrick, but he's learning. And with his rookie contract, you want to figure things out early with your quarterback so you can get some value out of him by starting him as a rookie. So it's worked for a couple other organizations. So they made the right move. I'll eat my words. They made the right move. They're still winning games. And Fitzpatrick's there to kind of teach him this year. So, look, give me Tua. Give me him on the road. Give me him versus Denver at Mile High. And hopefully I get the line at 3. Don't have to pay that extra half. But I'll even take it at 3.5.
I love it. Battling again. Let's go. Again, I don't think the Broncos win this game. I think it's weird and wacky. They have been kind of comeback artists this year, the Broncos. So it's definitely something to pay attention to. But I think, this is an easy Dolphins up by 10, feeling comfortable, hit a touchdown in the last 2 minutes. The Broncos do. Dolphins recover the kick. Big deal. 3 points. They win. And I beat Jason in another head-to-head bet.
I heard you say the word easy. And if anybody wants an easy bet,
no.
the line has gone up since I've been preaching this for the last 4 or 5 weeks. The Jets winning less than 2 games. It's up to 167. I got it at plus money about 4 weeks ago. I'm not saying they're going to go 0-16, but they're not going to win any games. Like it's maybe some team will give up at the end of their schedule, like if the Patriots fall back. But they're bad. They're so bad. They don't want to win. Even with Flacco going out there throwing a bunch of yards in that one game against the Patriots and they almost won, they probably should have won that game. Look, if you look at their schedule, they're playing the Chargers this week. They're 10-point dogs against the Chargers. They got the Dolphins next week.
I have the line at 8.5. We're going to get to that game in a second. Just saying.
Yeah, I know we're getting there. But look, they're not going to beat the Raiders, not going to beat the Seahawks, not going to beat the Rams, not going to beat the Browns, not going to beat the Patriots. So the only 2 games that can potentially win is the Chargers this week, which the spread is 8.5. I don't see that happening on the road. And they're not going to beat the Dolphins now. The Dolphins are too good. So look, they're going to go either 1-15 and get lucky in one of these games or 0-16. Lock up that bet. Even though you're paying some money right now, minus 160, I still take it.
Damn. What's
Sorry
it?
for that rant. I just got to get it out there.
No.
Every talk show I do, I talk about you got to make this bet because it's the cleanest bet left on the board.
Do you have the numbers in front of you? What is it under 1 win? Like to literally go 0-16?
0-16, yes, is plus 200. No is minus 250. And if you want the Steelers to go undefeated, it's plus 800.
Nah.
No, minus 1430.
Nah,
I haven't looked at the Steelers, rest of schedule, but the Jets are going to go, at best, they'll win 1 game. Just for, like, the pride, they'll win that 1 game, potentially. Yeah. But after that, like, they won the Super Bowl. If they won 1 game, they're mailing it in after that.
I love
it. I don't even think they win 1, to be honest.
Maybe we take that yes. I wish we took that yes early in the season, plus 200. I mean, what the hell's even the point of that? But still fun. Still fun money. Let's get to that Jets game. Jets Chargers. Jets traveling to Los Angeles. Line opened at minus 10 for the Chargers. It's down to 8.5. We actually have 62% of the bets, 67% of the money coming in on the Jets. Over under at 40.
Because that's why he's just too elite. Elite.
He's too darn elite. Over under at 46.5. We have 90% of the money coming in on the under there. 10 points is a lot. 10 points is definitely a lot. I think the Chiefs covered 19.5 or 20 earlier this year.
Chiefs are a better team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the Bills, I think it was a
better team. Still,
the Bills, well, no, but what I'm saying, I think the Bills opened as like 14 or 15 point favorites. The Jets ended up almost winning that game. The Jets have had some very, very lopsided spreads this year, and they've actually covered an okay, like enough to make it respectable. They didn't, obviously, that Kansas City game. 8.5 points. We'll go with the new line, the Chargers. This is where actually, so you can play Sia now. Say some really mean things about Anthony Lynn and how bad of a coach he is.
Why would I ever take a chance of not talking shit about the Jets, man? If you're going to talk about a team, talk about the
Anthony
Jets,
Lynn,
talk about Sam Darnold.
Damn it,
I don't know enough
Jason.
about Anthony Lynn to say.
Just say he's bad.
Okay, he's only won 2 games this year. He's been in most of these games. And
Finds
whoever was smart enough to grab Herbert, I'm assuming Sia would not think that's Anthony Lynn. It's somebody in management. So they're really smart. Anthony Lynn is not so smart. They're losing too many games late. Every single game they lose, they're down. They're winning, and they lose on some dumb shit late, whether it's a missed field goal and the other team comes back and kicks a field goal back. Bad time management. They're going to win this game, though. Like, 8.5 points is a lot. I don't know where I'm leaning here because I don't want to bet the Jets. Like, I have no faith in betting the Jets. Like, they're really bad. Flacco looked good that one time. Can he come back out and do it again? Perriman came out of nowhere. We've been trying to play him in DFS, like in main slates, and then he goes and rips up a showdown slate. So Perriman, Crowder should be back. Denzel Mims, it's a good matchup for them. But outside of this one game, they can't put up points, and the Chargers put up points every week. So it's a stay away from me. As much as the public money or the sharp money are on the Jets, I can't really support betting the Jets ever. So I'm not going to go on air telling anybody to go bet the Jets because you're really hoping for like a backdoor cover and hope that Anthony Lynn is makes a mistake late, or this defense steps up and tries to keep this a low scoring game. But I don't see it happening.
A couple weeks ago, we had our friend eTip11 on, and he said, "Don't put good money on bad teams." And that's what the Jets are. Just don't bet on that. If you're thinking about betting on the Jets, just don't bet on that game. I think that's where it comes from. If you got it at 10, it's one thing. If you could even get it at 10.5, that would have been sweet. It doesn't look like it opened there though. 8.5, I don't know. I still think the Jets get crushed. I think they get clobbered. This Chargers team isn't great. There's a reason why they keep losing all these games, but they did have 17-point leads in, I think, 4 straight games. Now, are they the first team ever to blow 4 straight games where they had 17-point leads? Yes. But do you think the Jets are a team that could come back from a 17-point deficit? A, in talent, B, in will and pride? No, I say no to both of those pretty easily. So if the Chargers go up at any point in this game by double digits, I think it's pretty much over. It's pretty much done. You can kind of just lock that one away. But I just don't want to bet on it. Anthony Lynn sucks, and Justin Herbert's new haircut sucks too. I don't know if you saw it. He looks like he's like 17. He's got pimples all over his face still. Should have looked like sunshine, should have kept the flow going, and now he looks like, it's weird, man. I don't like it. Anything on the haircut?
I'm not going to talk about his haircut, but the Jets only scored more than 20 points twice this year, versus Denver and then last week against the Patriots. So outside of those 2 games, like they can't figure out a way to get the ball in the end zone. They're kicking field goals almost on every drive. They're in the red zone. So they're not going to score more than 20 points based on the last 9 weeks, 10 weeks of them playing. So I think the Chargers have had no problem scoring points. So the Chargers are probably going to score 28 points on this defense, and the Jets are probably going to score 10 to 13. So they'll probably cover here. I would lean on the Chargers, even if it's a lot of points. I would love it to come down a little bit. But if you force my hand, I'm not betting on the Jets. I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that as well. But it is what it is. As CEOs like to say, it is what it is. Let's move on. Another 4:00 game. We have the Packers going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Another weird one. This game opened at -2.5 to the Packers. It's now 2.5 to the Colts. So a 5-point swing again. Very weird.
How's this happening?
58% of the bets coming in on the Packers. So, about 50, 40-60 split. Not a big deal. 50-50 money. Almost exactly right down the middle. 50-50 money. So I don't know what the hell's going on. All the money is coming in on the over. It started at 49.5. It's up to 51.5 now. All the money is coming in on the over. But Packers on the road, 2.5-point favorites. The Colts, they kind of sucked all year. They have one good game against the Titans. But even as you said, it was kind of like a shanked punt that led to like a 34-yard touchdown drive and then a blocked punt. And there's 14 points. And now it's kind of out of hand. And then the Titans can't run the ball like they want to. And they're kind of just, now it's just a weird game script. You don't see that happening. I don't know.
I'm doubling down. I'll make it easy for you. I'm doubling down. I lost money on the Titans. They should have won that game. They kind of blew it. Packers are a better team, better leadership for Aaron Rodgers. Looks like everybody's healthy now. Aaron Jones coming off a game where he kind of underperformed. Colts just find ways to win games, but I'm going to take the leadership of Rodgers over Rivers. And, make my money back that I lost against, the Colts last time. I don't think they do it again. They've been winning games, though, man. They've been finding ways. Good coach team, good defense, don't make mistakes. And if Rivers doesn't make a mistake, it's going to be a tight game. But if he makes a mistake or two, the Packer defense has been exposed. But like I said, I'll take the leadership of Rodgers over Rivers and the Colts. I made a mistake last time in doing it. Hopefully I make my money back this time.
I will say Devontae Adams came out today and said he's not sure if he's playing Sunday. I'm pretty confident he's going to play. It was kind of one of those off-the-cuff comments. It's only Wednesday.
What happened to him?
Ankle, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So something to pay attention to. I don't think it's going to be super impactful.
That would change things.
That would absolutely change things. But, I mean, if you have Devontae Adams there, I'm sure he's still going to play. I'm confident in it. It didn't seem like the injury was that bad, and it was kind of just an off-the-cuff thing he said. Alan Lazard is coming off the IR, so they'll have him. Marquez Valdez-Scantling the last couple of weeks has pretty much just said, yeah, you want to throw me 2 passes a game for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns? I'm in. And so he's been crushing it on that front. He's actually doing what he was meant to be doing his whole career, it feels like. So that's kind of nice. But you're giving the Packers some points. I'll take them. Give me the Packers plus 2.5. I don't know. The Colts, I don't think are actually very good. I think the Titans suck, and that's why that game got a little out of hand. But Give me the Packers plus 2.5. I'll take the points. I'm cool. I would have taken the Packers at probably minus 2.5. So if you're gonna give me the 2 points instead of having me give them away, I'm cool with it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Moving on. Ooh, this one will be fun. Again, windailysports.com/chat. You get 7 free days in that expert Discord chat. You can hang out with us, learn a little DFS. You can hang out with us, learn a little sports betting. We have some fun there. We also have our prop bets that come out every week, which are a blast. Adam absolutely crushed it last week. I think he went 4 for 4 or 5 for 5, if I'm not mistaken. So he absolutely did his thing. So I won a couple bucks on that. So appreciate the hell out of you there, Adam. But this one should be interesting. We have the Cowboys opened up as 9.5-point dogs to the Minnesota Vikings. That has come down to 7.5 now. So you can get the Cowboys plus 7.5. So you get the hook. We have over 60% of the bets coming in on the Cowboys, over 75% of the money coming in on the Cowboys. Now, obviously, Jason, it's America's team. They're going to get the bets. They're going to get the money. But 9.5 was a lot. I would even say 7.5 is still a lot. How are you feeling? Cowboys with the week to maybe prepare against this Vikings defense, which in the beginning of the year looked, oh my God, so bad. But they've looked a lot better of late. Maybe Nick Foles in that Bears offense. Cure for the common offense. I don't know. Maybe common defense. I apologize. Talk to me a little bit. Cowboys, 7.5-point dogs in Minnesota. What do you think?
Andy Dalton is back. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the Cowboys. It looks like he's playing. So, maybe more of
bad.
Mostly on the bad side. He hasn't had any protection. Dallas has given up and mailed in the season, which I think they should have done. After losing Dak, hopefully get some draft picks for their fan base. It looks like nobody's playing inspired ball. Zeke, just a terrible season overall. If whoever drafted him and season long, definitely, is struggling to win games. And that's been the story for all the top picks. Zeke, McCaffrey, Saquon. Zeke's healthy, but he's, you're probably better off with Saquon Barkley, because that meant you had to go out there and pick somebody up, and you're not playing Zeke every week just because he's your first pick of the draft and just laying eggs every single week for you. So I don't know, man. Like the Vikings short week, they just won a tight game. They looked good. Dalvin Cook's a beast. Definitely a play in DFS. Probably going to be one of the highest owned, safest cash plays on the slate, with not too many stud running backs, on the slate outside of Derrick Henry, which is in technically a bad matchup against the Ravens. So more of a DFS game. I don't know what to make of Dalton and the Cowboys. They played a tight game without him versus Pittsburgh, but Vikings are coming in a little bit hotter. They need this game. This game means a lot to the Vikings, so I think the Vikings win. But covering 7 is a lot of points, even to a team that's as bad as the Cowboys. So I don't really have a hot take here. Definitely more of a DFS play from the Minnesota side, and you can definitely pass on Minnesota as well. So if you got any faith in Andy Dalton, this is the time to maybe load up on, some Dallas Cowboys receivers coming off a break. But I'm going to stay away from this game.
I'm probably not going to put money on this game, but if I was, I would definitely put money on the Cowboys. I think 7.5 coming off the bye. The Vikings, yeah, they beat the Bears, but oh my God, they needed one of the worst quarterback performances I've personally ever watched with my eyes out of Nick Foles to win that game. So I don't think this Vikings team is that good. I think the Bears team is that bad. So I do actually think the Cowboys cover. Don't think they win. So I don't think I'm putting it in my 3-team money line parlay yet. So we'll get to that. I got 2. We're waiting on a third. We'll see what happens. But I definitely think the Cowboys cover. I think coming off a bye works. I actually think Zeke has a nice little bounce back game. At least I'm also hoping Zeke has a nice bounce back game, because I'm in a pretty tight matchup this week, or at least I'm assuming and hoping I will be.
9-1 with Zeke. That's pretty impressive, man.
9-1 with Zeke. It's Patrick Mahomes. Let's just be honest. And James Conner sucked recently too, so that hasn't helped.
He's
been
terrible.
And Nick Chubb. And I had Nick Chubb. I have Nick Chubb in that league too. So I had 3 running backs that pretty much have done nothing, and I'm just keep beating the shit out of everybody. You guys are all losers. You're all losers. I hope you know that. None of the Win Daily Sports family. I'm not in that league, but my home league, bunch of idiots. Love them all though. They're all very good friends. Most of them were in my wedding. Yeah, I think I'm leaning Cowboys plus 7.5. Definitely, if you can get that half a point, I'm in. Let us move on. 2 more games left. We have the Sunday night game. We have the Chiefs. We have the Raiders. This one is going to be interesting. So first, let's also just mention Win Daily Sports betting membership. Make sure to come hang out with us. We'll win you some money. That's what we do. House capper Steve, dude knows what he's doing. He bets cars on all of these matchups. So while I put 10, 20 bucks on some of these things, House Capper Steve is putting a car and a down payment on a house on them. So believe me, he's rolling with it. He's putting a lot of money on these games. So we appreciate him there. So make sure you get Win Daily Sports Betting membership. It's a lot of fun. Get to talk to him too. Ask him. Maybe he doesn't have a play. Maybe he gives you some live bets. It's always fun. It's always something to pay attention to. But we have the Chiefs. We have the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday Night Football in Las Vegas. Chiefs currently -7 or 7.5, depending on your book. The Raiders today put their almost entire starting defense on the COVID-19 list.
Nice.
They all will be able and eligible to play as long as they get, I think, is 5 consecutive tests negative in a row. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if they all come back negative, they will all be able to play, but no contact, very little practice, only Zoom meetings. If you can get Patrick Mahomes right now, -7, how the hell don't you take that?
What I would like to take outside of that, those lines aren't out yet. But when I see a game like this with KC off a bye week, you have the fact that you have some COVID situations potentially.
Coming back, if that means anything.
Watkins coming back. And the fact that they got embarrassed by the Raiders, like
Mhm.
that throws a lot into it for me. I kind of like when I see games like this set up the way this game is set up, I like to attack it a little aggressively and go with like first quarter, first half, end game bets. Because I think the Chiefs going to make a statement here. The Raiders are good, though. Like, don't get me wrong. They're actually a good team. They're well balanced on offense and defense. They're, everyone gives Gruden a bad rap, but I think he's actually a good coach. He inspires them, he pushes them, and he calls the right plays. So they throw some gadget plays out there. They looked impressive against the Chiefs the first time, but first quarter, first half, I like the Chiefs coming out strong, coming out early in this game. It's set up for them to put a hurting on them. And Mahomes, he circled his game after, getting beat up by Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs the first time around. So first quarter lines when it comes out, first half line when it comes out, I hope it's kind of low. I hope it's in the 4 or 5 range in the first half, and I'll definitely take the Chiefs there. 7's a little high, but I still lean the Chiefs here. I know it might be a sucker's bet, but I think the motivation of the Raiders, hitting them the first time around, they're going to come back with an uppercut and knock them out early.
I think the Chiefs absolutely run this game. I think they do their thing. I'm not going to be one of the people that says, oh, now after the bye week, this is going to be Le'Veon Bell's coming out party, but I think he's going to get a little bit more run. I think also, Sticks has been talking about it, and finally the Chiefs started listening to him, thankfully, that why are we trying to run the ball so much? We have Patrick Mahomes. Let him do his thing. Outside of the first game of the year where Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked really good, I think that was against the Texans, but it turns out you and I could run against the Texans. And against the Bills in that game where it was a monsoon, they haven't been able to run the ball all year. I don't think they need to, right? Like, you run the ball 10 times, 15 times during the game just to say, hey, look, we might actually run the ball. But I think this is Patrick Mahomes' show. Let him do his thing. Patrick Mahomes has 1 interception this year. Came in this game.
Yeah, and I also, when the line comes out, I don't see it yet on DK as far as DraftKings go, because it's a late game and you have this COVID situation coming out too. But I like to see the total for team totals on the Chiefs. I think they really run up the score as well. It's going to be a fast pace. The Chiefs are going to come out quick, hit them, and they're not going to let up in this first half. So I like to see the game total just for the Chiefs alone. It's probably going to be somewhere, I would say, in the 28 to 32 range, and I know 32 seems like a lot of points, or 30 seems like a lot of points. They're going to be scoring a bunch of touchdowns in this game. So I still like the Chiefs here to run up the score as well.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the end score of this game the first time around was like 40 to 34. It was like a 70-something point game. I mean, shit, whatever the over-under is, let's all just take it because we're rooting for points. It's the Sunday night game.
Yeah,
let's root for points.
It's the first time in a long time that I can remember both the Thursday night game being a good game. Like, we get in Arizona and Seattle. We're not getting like the Jets. We're not getting the Giants. We're not getting the Eagles. You're getting 2 explosive offenses, on Thursday, and then Sunday we're getting a good game as well. And Monday night looks like a pretty good game too. You get to see Brady, which Tom Brady going to get, the 5 touchdown Brady, or the game where he got a field goal out of his offense. The Rams defense is really good. And look, he got beat up by the Saints, But this time around, if Aaron Donald hits him a couple times, man, it could be a bad situation for Brady. And we don't know what's going on with Antonio Brown. More bad reports coming out with him. So that should be an interesting game. So at least we got blessed with a Thursday night banger, a good game on Sunday night, and then also a good game on Monday night. So I'm happy to see all these showdown games being not just for DFS and gambling purposes. It should be an actual real good game to watch.
Bangers only. This is the kind of schedule that we like. Bangers.
Took them
only.
10 weeks to get us that.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, we finally got here.
No NFC East teams in sight. Let's enjoy this one, baby. I do love it. So yes, I agree with you. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'll take them every which way. Patrick Mahomes will probably have a 2.5 touchdown prop. I'll take the over on that just because, I mean, I feel like it's just always the over for him. He's been absolutely incredible this year. Whatever that yards is too, frigate, whatever. Let's just take it. It's fun. So let's move on. Last game of the night. We have the Rams. We have the Bucks. Again, one more time, windailysports.com/chat. 7 free days in our expert Discord chat. You get to talk DFS, get to talk betting, get to talk gambling, get to talk fun, get to talk sweats, man. It's fun to sweat with your friends. I promise you that. I promise you that. It is way more fun that way. As you said, Jason, we have the Rams, we have the Bucks. Bucks opened as 3.5-point favorites. You can get it at 4 if you want it, but you can also get it at 3.5 depending on the book you're looking at. I am seeing it is a total of 47 as well. That number's come down a little bit. But we have 92% of the money on the over, which is interesting. Usually the bet doesn't come down when you see something like that happen. How do you think? Do you think, which, I guess I'll throw your question back at you. Which Brady are we getting? Are we getting the 5 touchdown Brady or are we getting the 3-pick and 3-point Brady?
Regardless of what Brady you get, I don't put money on Jared Goff. Like, I don't put money on Phillip Rivers. I lost some money last week, but I stick to my guns, man.
No, you do, but you shouldn't.
I stick to my guns, man. I don't bet on the Jets. I don't bet on bad teams. I don't really bet on bad quarterbacks. So I'll take the leadership here with Brady. They figured things out last week. They figured things out again. Goff, not so impressive, man. He had an explosive matchup against the Seahawks. Yes, they won the game. Yes, he played pretty well, but it's going to be a lot tougher for him on the road against Tampa. Tampa's defense is balanced. They'll stop the run. He'll be forced to throw the ball, and he'll make mistakes. And Cooper Kupp, not really, he's taken a step backwards this year. Robert Woods, pretty consistent doing his thing. Josh Reynolds has been a bright spot for them. But I don't really believe in the Rams here. I think the Buccaneers are the team to beat. And, it's too little points for Tom at home with the weapons that he has. He's going to figure things out. Smart dude. Really smart dude to play this long in the NFL. Way smarter than Jared Goff. You can teach him a few things here. And I think the Buccaneers cover here.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I also want to say, what up, George? He says, what's up to us? So I feel like we should say it back. What's up, George? We appreciate everything you do. This is an interesting one. 3.5, 4 points. I don't know. Sia told me stop taking all the favorites. So I started to listen to him and it's kind of been working. This is an interesting one. Monday night, they'll get the extra day. We did just see the Rams win, but they didn't look so hot against a really bad Seahawks defense, honestly. Granted, Jamal Adams is back, so at least he creates a little bit of disruption. Not very good at playing safety, but good at disrupting things. So we saw a little bit of that. It's an interesting one, man. It's really interesting. I think I lean Sean McVay and his pretty face and sunshine over there. I don't know why, though. I really don't know why. So maybe I just talked myself out of it. Maybe I'm going to ride with you and the Bucks there.
Listen, their run game is not so established. The Bucks defense is a lot better. They got the GOAT and Ronald Jones out there who's just, breaking tackles and running for 90 yards. Shout out to whoever had the balls to play him in DFS last week. Won you a bunch of money. But nah, I'm going to go with the Bucks, man. I think they're a safer play here. At home, Tom Brady. Give me Brady at home against Goff any day of the week. I just don't think he's going to have enough to beat him. They have to win this game to cover that spread, I feel like. I don't think it's going to be a tight game. I think they're going to have to beat him, and I don't think they're going to beat him. If they don't beat him, I think Brady do enough late to cover that spread.
I think you convinced me. I think I'll roll with you. Tom Brady and the Bucks -4. I think last week it was interesting because the Panthers kind of kept into it. If I'm not mistaken, they were up 17-10. It was like, oh, shit, what's happening? And then the Bucks just absolutely rolled from there. I do think that Jared Goff is kind of dumb. And he gets played way too much money, and the Rams' run offense is not there. I would say that defensive line is fierce. Bucks' offensive line isn't too bad, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens there. But Should be fun. Should be
That's why this
fun
line's even
either way.
close, because
Yeah.
the only chance you have of beating Brady is putting pressure on him. He's not really the type of quarterback that excels with pressure by running around and clearing the pocket out. So that's why this game is close. If Aaron Donald was on the other side, this game probably be a 7 point favorite for the Brady Buccaneers. So, but I'll figure out. They have to figure things out to protect that side. If they keep Donald off the ball, they should roll here. That's the only thing. Look, if he pressures him and it turns into a state game again, he'll have some trouble. But I think they figure things out here and come back strong.
I think they come back strong. I like it. So that is it. We went through every single game of the Week 11 NFL slate. We gave you all of our favorite picks. We gave you all the plays that we'll be riding with. Some games that we're not going to be playing, but it's still fun to take picks, right? I think that part is a blast. But let's end it with this, Jason. I think I figured it out. 3 teams, money line, all dogs. I got the Titans, the Falcons, the Packers. How does that sound?
Titans, Falcons, Packers.
Doesn't
Packers
sound that bad.
sounds good. Falcons sounds good. Titans is a scary one.
Yeah.
For me,
It's a 3-team money line
the
parlay.
Ravens
They're all
have to.
scary, bud. They're all scary. That's why we do it.
You can
That's
make
why
it a
we
little
do
bit
it.
easier on yourself. You can take the Cardinals if you want. You can
No.
take. Sound like you wanted to take the Eagles. Why don't you take the Eagles over the Titans?
Because I'm more confident that the Titans beat the Ravens than the Eagles beat the Browns. Because the monsoon, man, it's the monsoon. It's that stadium. Sometimes the winds, they just pick up and swirl just a little different.
All right.
Just a little different.
I think they have a better chance of winning the game than
Maybe
I
I'll
think
just
the
throw
Ravens
the
have to
Eagles
win,
in,
man.
too.
They really do have to win. But look, if you want a sexy 3-team parlay, that thing's going to pay out nicely because the Titans
yeah.
are plus 225. So if you run with that, you're definitely going to get paid out, man. If that thing hits,
Hey,
and
man, $5 here, $5 there. It's not a bad day. Not
it was
a bad day.
Falcons, Titans. What was the third one again? The Packers, right?
And I think you convinced me. I think I might just throw the Eagles in as well. Just consensus.
Oh God, you going with a 4-teamer?
We'll see.
It pays if you put. Oh, that's a lot of money, man.
See,
That's a lot of
$5,
money.
dude. That's all I'm saying. It's $5. It's possible.
You don't put $5 on something like this, man. If you hit it, you're gonna be.
No.
I'll be more upset if you hit
No.
it for $5 than.
Nope.
No.
No. Because this is how you lose money in betting. When you parlay things and then you look at the odds and you're like, oh, wait a second. If I put $50 on it though, but you're not gonna win. That's the whole point. But that's why we do
at least
it for
put
fun.
$25 on it. So what you would do here, you try to clear out those 3 first 1 o'clock games, and then if you go into the 4 o'clock game and you have last time you had like a 4 or 5 team, whatever it was, you had a 5-team parlay. Make it all the way to Sunday night. We're doing a podcast together Sunday night. I'm like, okay, just hedge it. You're like, no, I only got $1 on it. It's not worth it. I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But look, if you put $25 on it, the first 3 teams end up doing well and they win the game for you, you're set to win $1,200. So then you just go in there and hammer the Colts at minus 125 for like $300-$400. So you either when you walk away with $300-$400 or $800-$900 on the backside. So at least put something on it worth it to go with, That's my
maybe.
suggestion.
You might have convinced me.
$10?
$1,200 sounds pretty sweet. $1,200.
Put $10 to win 500, and then hedge that 4 o'clock game. I like parlays where you front load, but then save one of the games for a late game, so you have the opportunity to hedge it, and you can walk away a winner either way.
I want to be a winner, and that's why I'm here at Win Daily. That's why we're here. We're here to help you win money. Again, windailysports.com/chat. 7 free days in that expert Discord chat. Make sure you're checking out the gold membership. Make sure you're checking out the Win Daily Sports betting membership. We're winning money every which way. Prop bets, lines, totals, DFS, whatever you want. We are winning money there. We have MMA coming up this week. We obviously have NFL. We're going to have a million bets for college football Saturday, which is going to be an absolute blast. Sure, there's some esports shit going on, right? I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure there's something there. Obviously, we have golf that's locking tonight, so hopefully you're getting your lineups in. Jason, where can everybody find you on the internet?
You can find me at windailysports.com. I'm in that expert chat pretty much all day, every day. Make sure you go check it out. 7 days free trial, windailysports.com/chat. Take advantage of the tools, hop in chat, learn some stuff from DFS and a sports betting perspective. And from a sports betting perspective, let me just say one thing before I'll let everybody go. My 2, strategy pieces for everybody's listening right now. Check the lines, and by checking the lines, check the books. Like if you're in New Jersey, there's 100 different books offering lines. And there's going to be a difference between a half a point, 1 point between the books. So sign up at those other places. We'll give you a promo code to get free money from them. And then you have the advantage of looking at the line. So if you like the Titans, somewhere they're 6.5 and somewhere they're 6. If you like the Ravens, take them at 6. If you like the Titans, take them at 6.5 or 7. So those extra points, look, it won't mean everything every single time. But if you do the right process every single time, you'll end up winning more games than you lose if you just took whatever line, whatever your favorite sports book are. They're all good. Who cares? Just press the button on one of them and sign up and get your account set up so you can take advantage of the better lines. And the second thing, I love props, man. Props are the way to go. I feel like there's a bigger edge in props than there is in games because you're just looking for one person. You don't need everything to go right. You just need to get that one matchup right. And you're never really out of it, especially if you're taking the over. If you're taking the under, yeah, you could be out of it. But in the over, it only takes one play, man. And some of these props, the way I do my research for DFS, like I'm done with all my research for DFS. I make my lineups. I go look at the props. I'm like, this all makes sense. He's going against the weakest, cornerback in the league right now. He's got a clear advantage. They're going to be down. He's going to be throwing the ball, taking advantage of this, 60-yard prop or 65-yard prop. The only problem props, they don't come out until like Saturday night or Sunday morning for some players. So you got to do them late, but take advantage of those, man. We usually write up an article on Friday or Saturday. We're in our Discord chat, which is our expert chat. It's free to get in there for a week and look at the props. I think props are, I know funner is not a word, but it's a funner way to play props.
It is.
And I like it. I think, and you never really out of it. And there's really an advantage there. These books I've seen lines like 7 to 10 yard differences between sports books. They don't really put as much effort into it. They cap you on the bets. So they don't really have to worry about a $100,000 bet coming in on DK Metcalf. But it's a good way to attack it, man. We have a team of DFS players who are pros at looking at matchups and advantages, and you can apply that same math to props, and it's become really profitable for us. So we have a partnership with Monkey Knife Fight. So you can go to monkeyprops.com and we'll give you a free 3-month membership by just typing your promo code WinDaily. So you can hop over there, or, at DraftKings or PointsBet or FanDuel or William Hill or MGM. They all got props, man. So check it out and speak to us, hop in chat, and we'll help you out and make sure you win more games than you lose.
Props are the closest thing to fantasy sports, and that's why I love them so much, because you're just looking for one person. You can just scream at the TV, Zeke get the touchdown, Zeke get the touchdown, and when Zeke gets that touchdown, you win money, and that's what we're here to do.
You play them because they're funner. They're definitely funner.
They're so much more most funner. Yeah. And that is what we do for Jason, for the Win Daily Sports team. Make sure to check the show notes. I will have everything in there. I'll put our partnership page in there as well. So if you're not on William Hill, if you're not on PointsBet, if you're not on, well, you're probably on DraftKings at this point, but if you're not on one of those books, go click a button, bang, you get free $500 sign up bonus. There's nothing wrong with that. WinDailySports.com/chat. One more time for the people in the back. And as I said, for Jason, for myself, for the rest of the Win Daily Sports family, we hope you make it a very profitable week 11 of the NFL